Welcome to the third episode of the Spin.AI podcast. Today we're diving into a topic that's, well, it's huge right now for so many organizations,
hmm
navigating AI compliance and, really importantly, keeping that sensitive data safe.
Exactly. I mean, companies are uh, super eager to leverage AI, and you can see why, right? The potential for efficiency gains, new innovation, it's massive.
Mm.
But that excitement really needs to be balanced with a solid approach to data security and, staying compliant.
Yeah, and the stakes are just incredibly high. This isn't just like a small fine. Getting this wrong with AI data can mean multi-million-dollar penalties, the kind that make headlines. And that reputational damage, it's really, really hard to bounce back from, no matter how good your PR team is.
Absolutely. So today we want to provide some clear, actionable steps, mainly aimed at the folks on the front lines, the governance, risk, and compliance teams. Let's start right at the beginning. The AI risk assessment. Why is this the first thing you got to do?
Well, think about it like mapping a new territory, right? Before you send explorers in, or in this case, before you let AI loose on your data, you need to understand the terrain. Where does your sensitive data live? How does it move around? The assessment is basically that mapping process.
Right. And it doesn't take much to see how things can go wrong.
Uh-huh.
Take a marketing team, for example. Maybe they want to spice up their email copy, so they turn to a free public AI tool like ChatGPT.
Okay.
And to get better results, maybe they uh, copy and paste customer email lists, maybe purchase history, basically personal data, without really thinking about it.
Oof. And that's a massive red flag, isn't it? Because that data falls under regulations like GDPR or CCPA, and feeding it into a public tool means you've potentially exposed it, you've lost control.
Precisely. And the key thing is, even if the marketing team didn't know they were violating rules, the organization is still on the hook. Ignorance isn't a defense when it comes to compliance.
So this initial assessment is really about getting a full picture of all the AI apps touching your cloud environment, not just the official ones, but also this shadow AI people talk about. What does that actually mean?
Yeah, Shadow AI, it's basically all those tools employees start using without IT or security knowing or signing off. Could be anything, really. Personal AI assistants they signed up for, maybe some browser extensions with AI features baked in. The risk is these unsanctioned tools might get access to company data without any proper security checks. And honestly, the numbers we see, it's often way more prevalent than IT thinks.
Wow. Okay, so once you've sort of identified these tools, official or shadow, the next bit is figuring out where they're actually getting data from, right? Which files, folders, and what kind of data is in those folders.
Absolutely. You got to
Yeah.
classify it. Is it public? Fine. Is it internal but not really sensitive?
Okay.
Or is it the really critical stuff? PII, financial records, health info under HIPAA. Knowing the sensitivity level tells you how bad a potential breach involving that specific AI tool could be.
And the guide we're looking at mentions having a real-time access list, seeing who's using which AI apps. Why is that visibility so critical?
Well, visibility is everything in risk management, isn't it? If you know who's using what and what data those tools can access, you can spot weird activity. Like if someone in, say, HR suddenly starts hitting an AI tool that has access to financial data, that's a flag you need to check out pronto.
And there are specific risks to watch out for, like AI apps with access to sensitive files, apps with known security issues, or even privileged users using AI with sensitive data.
Exactly those things. Privileged users are a big one because they already have the keys to the kingdom, data-wise. If they use a risky AI tool, the potential blast radius of a leak is just much, much bigger. And yeah, even if an app seems okay, if it has known vulnerabilities, hackers could exploit it to get your data.
So the guide suggests starting with something simple. Just survey your employees to find this shadow AI. Does that actually work?
It's uh, it's a decent starting point. You might uncover stuff where people genuinely didn't realize a tool was risky, or they're just using it for convenience. But, it's not foolproof. You can't rely only on surveys. You definitely need tech methods too.
Right. Which brings us to working closely with IT. Tracking data movement, controlling what data AI can even see. It sounds like a really fundamental partnership.
Oh, it's essential. Absolutely essential. IT has the tools, the know-how to monitor network traffic, see where data's going, set up the access controls. GRC and IT working together means AI tools only get the data they need and not a bite more, hopefully.
And then there's the idea of using specific tools, like a real-time SaaS monitoring and automation platform. Spin.AI is mentioned. What's the big advantage there?
Tools like Spin.AI give you that continuous bird's eye view of all the sauce apps connected to your system, including that sneaky shadow AI. But it's more than just seeing them. These tools let you automate control, deciding which AI apps can access sensitive data and enforcing your rules in real time. It takes a huge load off manual tracking and really boosts your security. Like Spin.AI can literally show you which third-party AI has OAuth access to your Google Workspace and exactly what permissions it holds.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, shifting focus a bit within step one, the legal and compliance review. We're talking GDPR, HIPAA, CCPA. How do you tackle that specifically for AI?
First thing, always, get legal involved early. Super early. Compliance isn't just tech, it's deeply legal. GRC and legal need to sit down and figure out every regulation that applies to how you're planning to use AI. GDPR for EU data, HIPAA for health info, CCPA for California folks, PCI DSS for payments. You got to know your obligations.
And the advice is strong. Implement protections encryption, stricter permissions before you roll out AI widely, and audit constantly.
Definitely. Being proactive beats being reactive every time. Strong encryption protects data sitting still and moving. Granular permissions mean only the right AI tools and users touch the necessary data. And audits, they're your reality check. Are the controls working? Are there new risks popping up? You can't just assume AI is secure out of the box. It isn't.
Okay, step one, understand the risks. Makes sense. Step two is then creating a clear AI compliance policy. Why is writing it down so important?
Well, the policy is your rule book, right? It tells everyone how AI should be used in the company. It's there to stop employees from accidentally mishandling sensitive data by making it super clear what's okay and what's definitely not okay with AI. Without it, you're just inviting chaos and accidental breaches.
And the policy needs to be explicit about which tools are banned versus allowed. Can you give us some real-world examples of why that distinction matters so much?
Sure, a lot of those public, free AI chatbots, they often keep your inputs to train their models. So if an employee pastes confidential company info or customer data in there, that data could become part of the AI's general knowledge base. You lose confidentiality and bam, you might be violating privacy laws. That's why those free tools are usually on the banned list.
Makes sense. So conversely, the policy should list the approved enterprise-level tools. What makes them generally safer?
Enterprise tools, think Salesforce Einstein GPT or Microsoft Azure AI, they're built with security and privacy front and center. They usually offer strong encryption, and crucially, they often have policies saying they won't use your data to train their public models. Your data stays yours, under your control.
The idea of a specific whitelist of approved tools sounds really practical, easy for employees to grasp.
It really is. A clear whitelist says, use these tools for company stuff, especially sensitive stuff. If it's not on the list, the policy should say, don't use it for work. Simple as that. Plus, the policy needs rules on using the AI output, too, like for customer emails or code, to make sure it's compliant and ethical.
And defining red zones seems critical too, data that should never go near uncontrolled AI. What falls in there?
That's your crown jewels, basically.
Hmm.
Financial records, trade secrets, IP, super sensitive customer data, anything covered by strict rules like HIPAA or GDPR. The policy has to scream, this data does not go into public AI or any tool not explicitly approved. No ambiguity.
And finally, step two mentions making the policy easy to understand, ditching the legal jargon. Sounds obvious, but is that often missed?
Oh, yeah. You see, policies written by lawyers, for lawyers sometimes, they're dense, confusing. Employees just won't read them or won't understand them if they do. The guide even gives a good snippet example. Clear, direct language. Don't put confidential data in public AI. Here are the approved tools. Here's what happens if you break the rules. Clarity is key for compliance.
All right, risk assessment done, clear, policy written.
Yeah.
Step three, enforcement. Because, yeah, a policy gathering dust on a shelf doesn't help anyone.
Exactly right. You can write the best policy ever, but if you don't have ways to actually enforce it to make sure people follow it, it's not really protecting your data. Enforcement is where the rubber meets the road.
First up for enforcement, data loss prevention, DLP tools. How do they help with AI compliance specifically?
DLP tools, like from Symantec or ForcePoint, they act like traffic cops for your data.
Uh-huh.
They watch data moving around, and if they see sensitive info trying to go to an unauthorized place like a risky AI website, they can detect it and block it, ideally in real time. So if someone tries to paste a customer list into a banned chatbot, DLP should stop it.
Okay. And another piece is restricting access to those public AI tools altogether. How do companies usually do that?
Well, the traditional way is using things like network firewalls or proxy controls to just block known bad AI sites. But, as the guide points out, for better control, especially against that shadow AI problem, using an SSPM tool, SaaS Security Posture Management. Like Spin.AI is a big plus. SSPM gives you that constant monitoring, visibility into those rogue apps, and a central place to enforce your policies across all your SaaS tools.
And the guide suggests regular, like quarterly reviews of AI tool usage. What's the main point of those check-ins?
Those reviews are crucial for catching anything that slipped through the cracks, any unauthorized AI use, and just reinforcing good security habits. By looking at usage logs, maybe alerts from your SSPM, you can see what tools people are actually using if sensitive data seems involved, and spot any new risks that mean you need to tweak your policies or controls.
Now, enforcement isn't just about data leaving, it's also about the content AI creates. What are the business risks there?
Yeah, AI is fast, but it doesn't understand things like humans do context ethics regulations. So it can spit out stuff that's non-compliant, wrong, misleading, or just ethically dodgy.
Hmm.
Imagine AI misreading financial data and creating a bad report, or writing marketing copy that breaks advertising rules. That increases your legal risk.
So the advice is to spot check AI-generated content critically and often. How do you put that into practice effectively?
A risk-based approach works well. You could create a matrix.
Yeah.
What kind of content is it? How sensitive? High-risk stuff like external financial reports or public marketing should probably get a human review every single time. Setting up internal review steps before anything AI-generated goes public is a really important safety net.
Okay, that covers enforcement. Moving to step 4, which feels incredibly important, training employees on AI risks. The guide mentions that SHRM statistic about human error being a huge cause of breaches.
It's a sobering stat, isn't it? A huge chunk of breaches trace back to someone making an honest mistake or just not knowing the risks. You can have Fort Knox-level tech security, but if an employee clicks the wrong thing or pastes data where they shouldn't, you've got a problem. That's why good ongoing training on AI risks is absolutely fundamental.
And the guide pushes for hands-on, active training, not just PowerPoints. What does that actually look like?
It's about making it real. The idea is to run simulations. Take the finance team, walk them through using AI for analysis, but show them how data flows. Highlight the risks of exposing financials. Do the same for marketing, simulate using AI for copy, but focus on the danger of putting customer data in prompts or creating non-compliant ads.
So tailoring it to their actual jobs makes the risks feel less abstract, more concrete.
Exactly. When it relates directly to their work, it clicks. The guide also says, explain the back-end stuff, what happens to the data, what are the risks of exposure, and importantly, make it interactive. Ask them for ideas on mitigating risks, praise good suggestions, build that security culture together.
And showing them the tools you've implemented, like Spin.AI, during training helps too.
Yeah, definitely. When they see the tools and understand how they've helped protect data, protect the company and their work, you get better buy-in. It feels less like Big Brother and more like a support system. The whole vibe should be collaborative, positive, not punitive.
What are the absolute must-know takeaways every single employee needs to get from this training?
Okay, 3 big ones. 1, most AI tools store data, even if they say they don't, especially free ones. Assume it's stored. 2, private mode isn't a magic shield. Data might still be kept or accessed somehow. 3, and this is huge, there's no undo for an AI data leak. Once it's out there, it's out there. You've lost control.
Okay, powerful stuff. That brings us to the final step, step 5, monitor and iterate. Given how fast AI and regulations change, you can't just set it and forget it, can you?
No way. Continuous monitoring is vital. You need to know if your program is working, where the weak spots are. The guide suggests tracking if shadow AI is decreasing, maybe by watching network traffic or using those SSPM DLP tools like Spin.AI to catch unauthorized AI use.
And tracking compliance failures is also important. Logging AI-related security incidents quarterly. What does that tell you?
Well, tracking incidents helps you gauge how effective your training and policies are. You might even see an increase in reports at first, which could be good. It means people are more aware and reporting things. Over time, you want to see that trend go down. Plus, looking at what kind of incidents happen tells you which departments or use cases might need more training or clearer rules.
And the pace of change means updating the actual AI policy regularly, right? Like at least every 6 months. Mentioning tools like Microsoft Copilot or ChatGPT Enterprise changing their settings.
Exactly. AI tools evolve constantly. Their privacy settings change, their security changes, regulations change. So yeah, reviewing and updating your policy and the settings in your enforcement tools like your SSPM every 6 months minimum is crucial to stay current and protected.
And the last piece of this step, getting IT and compliance to use automated tools to continuously assess risks from new AI tools that pop up. Why is that forward-looking part so critical?
Because the AI train isn't slowing down. New tools, new features appear constantly. Trying to manually track and assess every single new risk is just impossible. Automated tools can scan for new AI being used, flag potential risks quickly, and let your teams adapt your defenses proactively rather than always playing catch-up.
So, wrapping this all up, this deep dive really underscores that AI is powerful, yes, but using it safely means a really active, ongoing commitment to compliance and data security. It's not a one-off project.
Absolutely. Real AI governance isn't about blocking innovation. It's about weaving security and compliance right into how you adopt and use AI from the start. Giving employees the right tools, the secure ones, while locking down sensitive data that's not an either. It's essential for succeeding responsibly with AI.
And I think the final thought here is pretty stark. In this age of AI, just hoping for the best is definitely not a data security strategy.
Not even close. You have to be deliberate, understand the risks, manage them diligently, mitigate them effectively. That's the only way forward with AI.
Great insights. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive on AI compliance. We'll catch you next time on the Spin One podcast.